I'm Jackie.
And I'm Ashley. Welcome to the Witching Hour.
Ooh, the Witching Hour is a little extension of Dem Witch Club where we give you a witchy quickie.
What that is we take a big topic, break it down into bite-sized pieces, and we have a little sip of something to drink.
Ooh, and sometimes we sound like so excited about it.
I know. I felt like Diane Sawyer.
You're better than her.
I am.
Let me tell you. No offense to Diane. I enjoy her.
You're great.
And I'm on a first name basis with her as well, evidently.
That's great.
All right, let's have some wine. This is called Orange Gold.
That's cute.
Made with organic grapes. Gerard Bertrand.
Lovely.
It's French 2021.
It's French.
So, an orange wine is not a wine made from oranges.
No.
It is orange in color because wines get their color from how much contact there is with the skins of the grapes during the winemaking process. So that's why you have white wines have no skin contact. Mm-hmm. Red wines have a lot of skin contact. Mm-hmm. Rosés have a medium amount of skin contact. And oranges have a little bit more than rosé and a little less than red.
That's so crazy. I like the color.
Ooh, and this is a blend as well. So
there's so many things going on.
Yeah, it's very complex when you smell it.
It's a lot.
Okay.
Cheers. Cheers.
Ah, oh my gosh. Wow.
It was like one thing and then another thing and then another thing. Like, just
there's a lot going on in here.
Suspected.
So, oh my gosh, there's a lot going on in there. And I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
It's pretty sour to me.
It's pretty sour. There is like a vanilla note, like a creamy note in there.
Well.
If you smell it, like...
No, you're not wrong. But that's a deep cut.
Especially if you smell it while you're drinking it.
Yeah, it does have like a creaminess, I would say. I agree.
Yeah.
It's pretty sour, but not unpleasant.
It's not unpleasant.
But it changes a lot.
It does.
Over the palate, like as it's going.
There's like a Chardonnay aspect to it.
There is some oakiness for sure. And there's also like a fair amount of tannin. It kind of like is dry, you know, like sucks up the air out of your mouth, like dry. Okay, let me see.
But it's crispy too.
And it does have a fruitiness.
Yeah, it does. All right.
So this is a lot of different grapes.
Interesting.
There is 25% Chardonnay, which makes sense.
Definitely there.
But there's, Grenache, Chenin Blanc. There's a bunch of things in here. Fresh and intense aromas. That's true.
Yes.
Balanced palate, notes of tangerine, spices, and citrus fruit. It is citrusy and sour, like we said. Mm-hmm. Ideal at 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Enjoy as an aperitif as well as with salads, spicy dishes, and strong cheeses. Well, all right. Very interesting.
Very.
I think this is the first time we've done an orange wine on this show.
Mm-hmm. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either, but it is more in that aperitif vein.
Yes,
it
is.
Which is like just kind of like a drink that you have before dinner,
or
even could be after dinner.
It does remind me a little bit of Aperol.
Yeah, well, because it has almost that like blend of different stuff.
That
it is
sort of like bitter, you know, how it's got that like bitter
Aperol's
citrus.
Better though.
Aperol is better, but I don't hate it.
Mm-mm. I don't hate it either, but I don't feel like I can drink a lot of it. I feel like just a little glass.
Yeah, I think it would be improved by food and some of the things they're saying.
I agree, and that is often the case that we have learned with some wines that we didn't care for. If you pair it with food or candy or something else, it changes it. Anyways, interesting stuff. Oh, but I also have to say, the reason that I chose this wine is because it's a little hint to our next episode.
Whatever could that be?
Yes. So, orange gold is a hint to our next episode.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's see who guesses.
Play along at home. Okay, but this episode is what?
A spell for chaotic times. Because we are in chaotic times.
Yeah, I was going to say, so why? Why would we be doing this now?
Oh, God.
In these times?
I don't even know.
No.
Why?
And like, a half of the day, I'm like, I hate this timeline. But jokes aside, like, we are living in this time. And it's all here. Yeah. And there's a lot of distressing and confusing and upsetting things that are happening literally every single day, wherever you look. Like,
yes. And it's like, is everyone lying to me? Or who's not, whatever. I don't know what to do or how to think.
It's very confusing. It's overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not trying to say there are sides, but there are sides. And I don't really care what side someone is on.
Right.
Things are very confusing and overwhelming.
Yes.
Regardless. So, that being said, as witches, we're like, isn't there something we can do?
Yeah. There's always something we can do. You know, whether you feel motivated to do it or not is another thing, but there's always something there accessible to you.
But I also think, as we've talked about in other shows, like, of course, you should rest and honor that, but you also you don't need to wait until you're motivated. Sometimes you just need to do something.
Yes.
And you just decide to do it. Mm-hmm. And you're not waiting for inspiration, except maybe we can give you a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. But you just do something because it can actually help you feel better.
Yeah, agreed.
So, what is your spell for these chaotic times?
Okay, I have a simple spell because, we don't need to be more overwhelmed.
Absolutely.
With everything.
And magic is not about, it can be a million complicated things if you want. Mm-hmm. Complicated doesn't mean bad.
No.
It doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be. So I wanted to do something simple. I don't think we've talked about this type of spell on the show before, which is amazing because we've talked about a lot of things. I don't think we have. Let me know if we have. But basically what I have outlined here is a simple freezer spell.
All right.
Or frozen spell or freezing spell or however you want to call it.
Yes, do tell.
So whatever you want to focus on. That could be one specific person. It could be an energy that you've been feeling, right? It can be a whole administration.
For example,
for conjecture speaking. It can be an ideology. It can be a small group, a big group, whatever. It can be anything.
Yeah. Anything
at all. And this is a thing that you want to keep from. So often it's thought of as freezing it in place, like thwarting its progress or thwarting its ability, or sort of freezing it in its tracks kind of thing, right?
Right.
Which I agree with. However, I also can see another layer to it, and sometimes this is what I want to do when I'm trying to use a banishing spell. I think this counts as that too, because I think you can imagine it almost like an insect in amber sort of being frozen in time and then away from you and not able to reach you because it's frozen and encapsulated.
I think the best spells have these kinds of layers to them.
Yes.
It's great to do a singular spell for a singular purpose.
Sure.
But I think the best spells have layers.
Yes.
And I love what you're saying.
Yes, I agree. Because then you can really dig deep into your intentionality in those layers. And the more you think about it, the more you might uncover, right?
Yes, and the more you give power and energy to that spell.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can go real deep and real dark with it. I love it. Or you can just keep it very surface. Whatever you want to do. You have the option is the point.
Yeah.
So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to just a piece of paper or a bay leaf or whatever you want to use. You are going to write the name of this concept, person, whatever it is, or you could use a photo, or you could use a token if you have one. So if you do have something belonging to the person you're referencing,
or something that symbolizes or is associated with the person. Right. Ooh, get creative.
You're going to put it in a container. You're going to put water in the container. And then earlier today, I was thinking about another little twist on it because we're having this torrential downpour. Here in Southern California, you could use this rainwater for this, because this time has been something else. Go back and listen to the February energy report. You'll know what I'm talking about. But you could use this rainwater.
Yes, and it's so symbolic because this is a storm, and we're kind of talking about containing and, like this kind of storm of chaos that's out and about.
Yes, I loved it. I may or may not have put out a vessel to collect this.
Well, it's probably overflowing already, so.
Yes. Love that for me. So you're going to do that. You're going to put it in the container. You're going to put the water in there to surround it. Sometimes people like to put the paper or the whatever thing where you write it into another object, like a lemon slice or something like that, to contain it even further, and then put it in the water. Whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter to me. And then if you're in a place that actually like gets freezing outside, you can put yours outside. We do not have that option. It won't freeze. So we have to put it in our freezer. In our home, which is fine too. You can do it however you want. You might even like want to have it a little bit more controlled and have it in your home, or if you really don't want that and you have the option of putting it outside, I can see the merits for both. But you're gonna do that, and that you're gonna visualize that concept, ideology, person, whatever it is, being frozen in their tracks, thwarted, not able to reach you. Frozen in time, stopped in their progress, cannot proceed, and see no man up in that bitch.
I love this.
Me too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's so empowering just to hear you talk about it.
I know. I feel like I'm like infusing everybody's thing with like power. I love it.
Yes, you are, and we are. So, okay, amazing. So there's one option.
There's one. Now let's hear yours.
So here's mine. So what you're going to need for mine is a cup of salt. That's a lot of salt, okay? Sometimes you just need a little salt. A cup of salt. A good pinch of thyme, sage, rosemary, bay, leaf, any and all of what you have. Lavender, anything you have, okay? But probably 2 or 3 different ones, because we want to bring in some different mixes. And as we always say, and I think it's true with crystals, I think it's true with herbs, whatever you want to imbue that with is there. Okay. So, you can look up like which ones are for protection. They're all for protection if that's what you want. Exactly. Or, whatever it is that you want. So a good pinch of all of those, you're going to mix that all together into the salt.
Okay.
Then you're going to need a piece of paper and something to write with. And what you're going to write is something called a declaration, okay? This language comes from the theory of somatics. And I want to give credit specifically to the people who work in that, and specifically Stacey Hines. So a declaration is more than just a statement or a wish. It is an embodied belief that is attached to practices of what you want and desire. And the suggested language for this starts with, I am a commitment to. Ooh. And you fill in the blank. So you can say, I am a commitment to honesty and authenticity in my dating life. For example, I am a commitment to healing from my trauma. I am a commitment to speaking truth to power. I am a commitment to cultivating power with in my communities, as opposed to power over, which those are the kind of harmful systems that, are oppressing us, right?
Right.
So you're going to write one or more of those. Now, there should be some actionable steps that you can also think of to lead you to that. But the main thing is this declaration, this desire that you have deep within yourself. And you're going to roll that up into a little scroll, and you can tie it or you can just hold it rolled up. So once you have that, you're just going to be meditating on what you wrote and what all you're thinking about. So then you're going to take your salt, and you're going to draw either a line in front of you, and you should probably do this outside because it's going to be a mess on your floor. Put it out into a big line, or you can put it out into a circle around you, either way. And you're just going to hold that scroll. You're going to meditate on what it says. You are going to let your emotions and physical sensations come, along with feeling deeply in your body what it means to wish for this and what it means to envision a future where this is accessible.
Yeah.
And as you're doing that, you're going to step over the line back and forth. Or if it's the circle, you're going to step in and out of the circle.
Okay.
So what you're sort of doing is acting out the as above, so below concept.
Yes, okay.
And you're really adding to this manifestation. And you're going to feel everything that you're feeling and thinking that comes up along with this. You might cry, you might get angry. Just allow whatever that is. Kind of do your stepping rhythmically. You can pound and step hard. You can gentle, you can jump. Whatever that feels, the energy in your body, you know, whatever it needs. Mm-hmm. You will know when you are done doing this. You will know. Mm-hmm. You will feel that it is done. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to take your scroll. You're going to hold on to it. You're going to scatter all that salt. Just sweep it away with your feet or your hands even. Then you're going to take that scroll inside with you. And you're going to put it on your altar or someplace where you can keep it. And you're going to think about it. And you're going to remember it. And you're going to feel the power and the energy that you generated from doing that spell.
Yeah.
And you're going to take that with you.
I love it. I love it. Very powerful. And I love the I am statement. I just love the embodiment. Because it also, like, I like how ours were different, but then they were similar in the way that they're giving you a tangible sense of control when everything feels out of control. And that's kind of the idea. Like it's chaotic times, so what can you control? Not a lot. And it's okay to have like a sense of that and to understand that there maybe isn't a lot that you can do for huge change or something, but it really is helpful to have something super tangible and just really narrowly focused that like, well, maybe I don't have a lot of control, but I can do this, and it's very, very powerful.
Yes, and I do think, and as I think you also think, that collective intention and collective energy is a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you have a community and you can know that each person or together you're doing this or things like this, but also just know, even if you don't know them, there are other people engaging in this type of thought and this type of practice, and it is creating a movement, it is creating an energetic shift, and that is something.
Yes, I feel it. I definitely feel it. Amidst all of this and it being crazy and all that, I definitely have felt the energy shifting. I've seen more people speaking truth to power, like you said, as one of your examples. I've seen people really standing on business and not taking the things that they used to and calling people out for the stuff that they are just not putting up with anymore. And it's really been encouraging to see. Even if you're not quite there yet, it's been encouraging to watch other people really own that. So
I agree. So I think this was very powerful. And I think this is very important. So we may be discussing some of this a little bit more in the future. But yeah, until then, thank you.
Cheers.